Well, I'm most of the way done grading your quiz, but I couldn't quite finish up in time for class today, so I will have your quiz graded and returned to you for class next time. If you're anxious for what your score is, maybe check in the grades in D2L tomorrow. I may be able to get them up by then, so check that out, but otherwise you can get it back at the start of class next time. We're doing experiment 6 in lab this week, so make sure you've got that one prepared for properly. There was a Mastering Chemistry assignment from Chapter 3 that was due last night. Again, if you don't manage to finish it on time, still go in and do it, even if it's late. You'll be able to still submit it, but you'll get 10% deducted per day on sections that you submit late. So make sure you do still go in and complete those for practice. Also be using those adaptive follow-up assignments for extra practice on the things that you were having trouble with. So we are going to pretty much finish up Chapter 4 in class today and start Chapter 5 next time. So read sections 5.1 through 5.5 in the textbook for next time so that you're ready to go, ready to discuss that. And then it's time to start talking about our first exam coming up already next Tuesday. That is, September 29, a week from today. There is a study guide in Brightspace in Content Handouts, Exam 1 Study Guide. If you have not yet had a look at that, make sure you go in there. I would recommend printing it out and using it sort of a checklist as you're preparing for the first exam. So it'll tell you the things that you need to go back and review up on, as well as the things that you need to do specific practice on to be proficient for the exam. So the exam's going to cover from the very beginning of Chapter 1 all the way through the parts of Chapter 5 that we get to on Thursday. So we'll have a really clear stopping point on Thursday that we'll be able to say what we're going up to, so that'll be a little more clear in class on Thursday. But also, if you go through the study guide, it tells you exactly which sections and which material we're going up through on that first exam. It's going to be closed note. It's 100 points. It'll take the entire class time next time, so come ready to go with that. The exam is going to be mostly multiple choice questions, so prepare yourself for multiple choice questions, probably about 1 page of word problems, similar to the stuff the problems that were on the quiz. So it could be unit conversion, could be density, could be a dosing question. Dosing is no different than any other unit conversion. Okay? It's usually just like a big word problem. You have to identify those pairs of information that are given within the problem and turn those into the conversion factors. Okay? So get plenty of practice doing that. But again, those practice worksheets that are in the content area will give you plenty of practice for anything that you would encounter in terms of word problems, at least. You will be provided with a periodic table and with the conversion sheet, so same one you've been using all along. Please have your star ID with you. You're going to need to fill that in on the exam. We're going to use the digits from your star ID on the Scantron as a way of identifying yourself for the machine rating. Let me show you just quickly what you can do again for practice. Let's go right here. Let's go to content. All right. So, here we go. If you need to print out another conversion sheet, whatever, but here's the Exam 1 study guide. Let's just bring that up. Okay? So, read all about which sections are on it. I broke this first one up just to be a little more helpful into concepts to master as well as skills to master. So the concepts are ideas, things that come from the notes or the textbook. Those are things that I'll ask multiple choice questions about. So you need to be totally prepared to explain, right? These are just just sort of the basic idea that's there. Go back into the notes, maybe make up an outline or something like that on your own. If you can get to the point with any of these concepts where you could explain that idea to somebody else that's not in the class, then that's a good test for whether or not you have a good enough understanding of that idea. So if you got a friend or a family member at home or somebody that you could try to explain something like this to, that's a really helpful way of making sure that you're good on your concepts. Okay? So this also refers to the practice worksheets that are available that'll help with those particular types of questions. The other thing I wanted to show you, well, yeah, I do want to show you this. Let's go to Mastering Chemistry. Guys, this is pretty new, and sometimes I forget to tell you guys about this. Come on. There we go. So, let's go to our course. All right. So here in your course, oh, and you can't see that, sorry. There's this link right here, study area, that has all kinds of helpful goodies for practicing with. Okay, it goes sort of by chapter, but here, let's just do chapter guide. Let's do chapter 2. Go. All right. Question sets. These are practice quizzes, and they're practice multiple choice quizzes. So if you haven't had a lot of exposure to multiple choice before, multiple choice has its own, has its own method of use. So get some practice. There are plenty, or a ton. This one has, each one of those has 15 questions at least to them. So extra little bit of practice, but also math review. If you're having trouble with English metric conversions, metric conversions, metrics units, okay, stuff like that, those will be especially helpful for you. Solving chemistry math problems. So all of this was in that study area. Okay? It's just a button that said study area right there inside of Mastering Chemistry that you can use. Okay, so more practice. Like I've said many times, there's no shortage of places for you to get material to practice in here. And it's really that practice. It really takes a good amount of practice on your own part in order to really be successful in here. You know you're practiced up enough when coming into the exam. You feel that you should get to the point where you can feel as if you're anticipating the types of problems, you've practiced those problems, and you feel good about it. I think that's the #1 deterrent for test anxiety. It's this really good preparation and making sure that you're quizzing yourself, not just reading over stuff, but actually quizzing yourself, giving yourself problems to work on with no assistance. And if you've practiced up that type of stuff enough, then you should be really in good shape for the exam. Okay? So, who has any questions about our schedule or about the exam or any of that sort of stuff? Anybody? No? All righty.